Understand something. Plain and simple. To me, Abigail was a delicious poison. An intoxicating, overwhelming poison. Yowie wowie! That felt good! Yowie wowie. Let me in.
That was just a taste of the talent from Jodie there. Not only is she our Abby, but she's also great at putting these videos together. So, welcome everyone. We're back for an episode of Abby's Window. Um, as always, we have our Abby, your Abby, Jodie Gilly. Jodie, how are you?
Good. We're getting a really nice thunderstorm right now.
I gotta be honest with you. I heard that thunder, and I'm glad I'm on this side of it. I'll just leave it at that. That was yeah.
Yeah.
So we got a lot to talk about. We got a lot to break down. Because you know what? There's always something to talk about when it comes to Wyndham Rotunda. So So before we get into that, let me welcome in some folks. Amir, Sean Suzzlewitz, Dean Bragg, Big Dan, Trex, Joe is in the house, Jason Peace, Shane Loki, Dalton Riley, Annette Morris, Ms. Captain Bob. Okay. Let's see here. If I miss you, I'm sorry. EJ Movement. Oh, we're gonna get there, EJ Movement. Monica, what's up, Monica? Sean Rousset, Tony. Yeah. Janelle Jackson. What's up, everybody? Thank you all for joining us. Just a quick programming note. We will not be doing Raw tonight. We went over this before. We won't be doing it tonight. Jodie has to go back to work. I have to go back to work. So we will not be doing it, but we will be back for next Monday's Raw. We'll be here for Friday SmackDown and next Monday's Raw. So just know that. Okay. So
Just Bray today.
We got a lot to talk about.
We do.
So we on this channel we did a watch along for Free the Narrative 2, and Joe and I discussed how cool it would be to see Wyndham Rotunda on Free the Narrative. And then we got something at the end that talked about Fiends emerging.
Yeah.
See, Wrestling created a video. And then the interview with Adam Scher came out. And, for one, if you have a chance, it's like 30 minutes long, folks. If you have not watched it, I would say go watch it. Go subscribe to the Control Your Narrative channel because there's a ton of stuff. But go watch that half an hour because there's some great, great stuff from Adam. And, I mean, he's very emotional, very open with everything in that interview. So, yeah, I mean, it's crazy, but that was out there. So, Jodie, before we get to like the last 30 seconds of that interview that C Wrestling also created another video on, and we're going to show a clip. What did you think of the possibility of Wyndham showing up in the narrative and doing a Free the Narrative 3?
I mean, we had kind of talked about that weeks ago, that about him telling, when he came out with that tweet saying, wait until you hear my side of the story. We kind of talked about it then about him doing something to that effect, and, an interview or some kind of, YouTube special or something to kind of share his journey and his story. And I just think it going down that road, having Adam in it and it getting, kind of darker, and I think it's just the natural progression of things.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, we were up here just going absolute bonkers about the possibilities of it.
Yeah.
And wow, I mean, it may happen. And I want to talk a little bit about, I want to show a graphic real quick, because for it to make sense, and we'll get to Adam's comments, but EC3 is obviously the person that's been doing all the Control Your Narrative stuff and the Free the Narrative, and it's been great. And I don't know how many people have watched the first one. If you've not watched the second one, you definitely, if you're a fan of Wyndham Rotunda and the possibilities of what could be in this, you should go watch the first two. Even if you just want to check out the second one, that's fine. but go check them out because, oh my goodness, the possibilities are endless. They could just do an hour and a half just with Wyndham Rotunda, and it could be a film essentially, and that's how he comes back. Like that's the possibility. But EC3 had a quote, and I'll read it here, and then I'm going to get Jodie's thoughts, and then we'll start talking about the comments from Adam. But when asked, EC3 said, "I remember I would call this the day wrestling died for me. I wasn't even there when he, the Fiend, Bray Wyatt, just got beat by Goldberg. I watched this man work so hard and be so unique and so creative and do so many different things and take it upon himself developing something so special to have it just thrown away by someone's decision." I would say that a lot of fans of the Fiend, Bray Wyatt, maybe felt that way that day. But Jodie, I want to come back to you and just get your thoughts on this quote and how you think pairing up with EC3 to free his narrative, how do you think that would go?
I think it would be awesome. I mean, you know, he's just in that quote alone, he's talking about him, you know, being a hard worker, being unique, being creative. And those are all things that I think if he chose to do something like this, that EC3 would just be kind of like, have at it, do what you want to do. You know what I mean? And kind of, you know, he would just kind of be like, I have a feeling he'd just be like, hey, I'm just producing the thing. You do whatever you want to do, however you want to do it.
Yeah.
And I honestly think every Bray Wyatt fan can relate to what he said. That was, you know, the moment that most of us will agree that things started to go downhill from there. Just because of how I don't even know that it was the fact that he lost. It was how he lost. I think they could have done that match a lot better in terms of how, and still can't come out with the same result, but have it done a different way.
Yeah. That whole match was so weird.
Mm-hmm.
And you could, for me anyway, I could even tell as they were making their entrances and entering the ring, I thought something was wrong.
Mm-hmm.
It just felt off.
Mm-hmm.
And to see the end result where, I mean, Goldberg, while a legend and a Hall of Famer, he is not where he once was in terms of strength, not even close.
I mean, you know, we call it the Jill Hammer for a reason because he couldn't even get him up.
Right. I mean, and we've seen that. We've
Mm-hmm.
seen that with Bray. You know, we saw that with the Undertaker, and you know the just huge debacle that was, and how it almost ended not only the Undertaker's career, but I mean, could have severely, if not fatally, injured him.
Mm-hmm.
Dalton saying, "I'm still fuming from that." A lot of people still are fuming from that match.
It's a sore subject for sure.
It is, but let's get to the comments that everyone wants us to get to, and that's the comments from Adam Shear, Titan, at this point, and I'm just gonna shut up talking and just play his words for you, and then we'll come back on the other side and break all of it down. So here we go.
Who would you like to see knock on the door?
There's only one man on this earth right now that I want to see knocking that door. He's family. He showed me things in life that I never could have imagined seeing. He bestowed the gift upon me of being the godfather to his son. Wyndham. I'm waiting for you, brother.
I'll just say this. Those words,
Oh, I have goosebumps.
the emotion in those words, and I put the quote up there so people could see it. If you didn't catch everything, I put the quote up here so you could check it out. But I'll read them again. I'll read the words again, and then Jodie, I want you to first tell me what you thought about the emotion. But there's only one man on this earth that I want to see knocking on that door. He's family. He showed me things in life that I've never could have imagined seeing. He bestowed the gift upon me of being the godfather to his son. Wyndham, I'm waiting for you, brother. Wow. All right, Jodie, tell me about the emotion first, and then we'll break down what he said.
I mean, we always knew that they were family, you know, or as good as. You know, he's the beginning part of that. He's not really telling us anything we didn't already know. We knew that he was a godfather to Nash, and you know, Wyndham has a beautiful family, and but I don't know, just something about the way Adam said it. It just means so much more coming from him, I guess, as opposed to, you know, somebody like EC3 saying it, or, you know, anybody else saying it, really. But to have it come from Adam himself, that he wants him to do it. And I mean, I would think the person that has a lot of, if not the most amount of pull on whether or not he actually does decide to do it would be somebody like him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we can sit here all day long and be like, yeah, you know, that'd be really cool. We'd love to see him here. We'd love to see him there. But I mean, we're nobodies. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, not nobodies, but, you know.
I know what you mean.
Like,
I know what you mean.
Someone that close to him that's saying, hey, I really want you to do this, is going to have a lot more pull than somebody like me sitting here saying, hey, you should do this.
Yeah, I mean, I thought, just from an emotion standpoint, seeing him talk about the personal stuff, and you could see him getting choked up. You could see him, you know, being very emotional. I thought that was very telling. And, you know, who else? I mean, at this point, like the point that you just made, who else would be? I mean, if I'll say it like this, the only thing that I would say is akin to the control your narrative and free your narrative stuff would be doing something like this with Matt Hardy. That would be. We got Tazzy. What's up, Tazzy?
And that was how I kind of explained it to my husband when he was asking about it. And I said, you know, it's kind of similar to when Matt did his Free the Delete stuff on YouTube. You know, it's kind of a similar concept.
Yeah, it is. And I mean, that's what I would say. If someone like Matt Hardy, I think, other than Adam, were to be like, hey, I'm gonna do this, you know, Free the Delete stuff, and we'll bring you back. I think those are like the two people right now that would have his ear creatively. And obviously there's a lot of respect for EC3. But I think having it, like you said, come from Adam directly it means a lot. All right. So we talked about what it means. Let's break down what he said. He says, I'm waiting on you, brother.
Yeah.
I'm waiting, Wyndham. I'm waiting on you, brother. Jodie, I think that says a lot. Dean, go ahead and ask your question. Jodie, what? Obviously, we know what the words say, but what do you think they mean? What do you think it means for him to openly say, Wyndham, I'm waiting on you, brother?
I think it was more of a challenge. Like, get your ass in here. Come on, let's go. Come on.
Yeah. And I think one of the things from that interview that I took away from it is that so many people look at wrestling one way, but it's really all about the storytelling and pulling out certain emotions. And Braun or Adam said that, in the process of making this, and they talked about how long it took them to make it, and how many it was like 90 days of them trying to figure out what direction they wanted to go and then shooting it in a month. But the way he said that it was therapeutic for him to do this, you make an interesting point about the challenge. Do you think that Adam should be the one to free the final form of Wyndham? Instead of EC3, maybe he can start with EC3, but maybe Titan is the one to help him ultimately free.
This is going to sound really weird, but I think Wyndham should be the one who releases his final form.
Mm.
In a weird, like, backwards, I think he should do it himself. I don't know why. It's just a knee-jerk reaction that, this has all been created by him, and the Fiend, was kind of his brainchild, his baby. And I know how close, from talking to people that know him, how close he keeps that character to his heart. And, I just think it would be the most poetic thing to have him do it himself.
Have him do it himself.
Definitely have, Adam and EC3 involved in it, but I just think it would be poetic, especially, going back to a lot of his older tweets about the caterpillar and the cocoon. And I don't know, I just think it would be really poetic of him to shed his own cocoon, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, again, let me just transition here. So let's say that they said, "Hey, Jodie, you have the pencil. You are writing Free the Narrative 3. Is it a Windham Rotunda movie? Or how would you put that together? You got the pencil, you're writing it and producing and directing."
Well, I mean, first I'd give the pencil back. Nope. Nope.
There you go. I'm all good. I just want to watch.
I'm a healthcare worker. I'm a nurse, not a writer. I don't know. I guess I'd really like to see. It's hard as a fan because you want to see him outside of kayfabe, kind of like he's done in interviews with Sam Roberts in the past. And, part of you wants him to do something like a Stone Cold podcast thing where he's just being himself and talking about things that he's gone through and, his side of some of the stories that have been a hot topic. So there's a part of you as a fan that wants to see those things, but there's also a part of you as a fan that wants to dive deeper into this Fiend character and this story and the Man in the Woods. And I don't know how you would put those two together. I don't think you could. I think you'd have to go one way or the other. So I could see it being kind of similar to what Adams was going through all of the different faces. I wonder if you could do it that way. Have like several masks on.
Now that would be cool.
And something within that character in that period of time shed the mask.
Ooh. Ooh. That just struck a nerve right there.
Yeah. And then his final form is taking the mask off. I don't know.
No, I love that though. I love that. Wow, that's. I'm gonna bring. I'll bring. Well, let's bring this guy in real quick. He's gonna give us a. I gotta get his reaction to this too, because that was deep. Jodie, you just kind of blew my mind a little bit. So,
Especially if you have it like from an artist perspective, if you have pieces of each mask, integrated into the next one. So, the top layer would have little pieces of the layer underneath it. And you know what I mean? Tazzy! I don't know.
What's going on, everybody? What's going on?
What's up? So, Tazzy, did you hear the last part of that?
I didn't. I was looking on right when she was talking.
Jodie, say that one more time, because you need to hear this, Tazzy, and I want to get your. Tazzy is at Raw, everyone. So just know that he's at Raw. You can see everything behind him there. I'm jealous because he sent me a picture. I'm a little bit jealous. But
Crazy sweet tickets.
Jodie,
I never had tickets like that. But go ahead.
All right, so Jodie, go ahead and say what you were saying, and then we'll get Tazzy's reaction, and then he'll do like a live little preview of Raw, and then we'll come back to finish up at it.
I was saying if he did the free the narrative thing with EC3, if he had several masks on, and with each character something happens and he sheds a layer, and then his final form would be him taking off the mask.
Yes, I'm all for that. I wanted to do that anyway, but it's like the mask part. That's just like, hold on, my head just flew out. It's like, yeah, definitely. I think that's a good transition to where he was until where he's going to be, aka Impact. So,
Hope so.
Yeah, I love that.
All right, Tazzy, give us a quick little preview of what you're seeing there in the building, and I'm hearing some stuff already. So
yeah, as of in the next right now in 2 minutes, I wonder if I turn this around. Oh, my bad, wrong one.
that's okay.
I'm trying to get down to the steps. Hold on. This is crazy. Hope I don't drop my phone.
It looks like a cool setup, man.
Ooh,
that's nice.
So
this
is the new Warrior Stadium. So this is actually really nice. So what we got right now is basically the Queen of the Ring and the King of the Ring, and they already got like they had on SmackDown. They have the stage set up as the thrones. So that's ready to go. And we got that big women tag team tonight too.
Yeah,
should be insane. But yeah, it's crazy. Right now they're about to get ready to tape main event.
Main event.
Yeah, that's the week for the first 30 minutes, and then they'll go on and start the show. Okay. I will definitely send pictures on top of pictures. I'll make a group chat in there. Just saying. If anything crazy happens while you guys don't see, I'll send it ASAP.
Okay.
I got you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Have fun, Tazzy.
Have fun.
Right. Hello. I'm gonna continue. I'm gonna continue listening. I'm still listening, but I'll see you guys later.
All right. See you, Tazzy.
By the way, it's a party, baby. Hey, y'all.
All right, man. Oh, Tazzy popping in there live on the scene.
On set
of Monday Night Raw. So Tazzy popping in real quick to show us what's going on there. Thank you, Tazzy. that looks like a lot of fun. It's been so long since I've been to a live show.
Me too.
It had been years before the pandemic anyway, like 3 or 4 years before the pandemic, but adding these couple years on have not been too kind. So I gotta get out and see a show. So you still, my mind is blown. So shedding different masks.
Hmm.
That is so interesting. So I guess my question is, I
Think
think
about what Jason Baker could do with that.
oh my gosh, I know. Like yeah. Like what if it's not even like taking the full thing? Like, are you saying just like ripping pieces?
Hmm.
What if they like rip pieces of it off?
Mm-hmm.
Oh God, I gotta stop. Um, so what do you think is that final form? Because I mean, EC3 mentioned the final form a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
What is that final form? I mean, do we just see Wyndham? Because I mean, we did hear that Wyndham was the key. So
Mm-hmm.
maybe that story can really go forward now. But what do you think we see?
I have no idea. I think it's more likely to be Wyndham is his final form, but if there's anything we know about Bray Wyatt or Wyndham, I'm so used to calling him Bray Wyatt. That's still weird. He has that brilliant creative mind, and he may go even darker. I don't know. He may come out with something that we've never even seen before. So
It's true. That's true.
all we know is from what he said before is that he has a message, and that's what he's going to do.
Yeah. Alicia says, "Hi, Jody and Jeff. What about walking past a forest, then a swamp, then a house with a rocking chair, then going into the narrative?"
I definitely would like to see pieces of his old character in there. I think that would be cool. Well, definitely with a rocking chair and a lantern. And I definitely like to see hints of his old character without obviously breaking copyright laws. But
Yeah. I thought it was really cool in Free the Narrative 2 when they had Braun or Adam. I've still got to get my
I know.
I've got to fix my brain. But seeing Adam ride his bike by the Amway Center
Mm-hmm.
and the significance of that, because you could argue that he was one of the few people in WWE that carried WWE during the pandemic era.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he held that championship for a long time,
Mm-hmm.
better part of a year. Really, really was the face for a while. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
he was the person that was carrying the mantle for WWE, especially with Roman out. I mean, he really carried the torch. So to see him ride by there, I think was cool, and just to see some of the things, some of the imagery they could invoke with Wyndham if they were to do this. Let's see. Mark, what's up, Mark? There's something I don't quite get when it comes to Adam, Wyndham, and Free the Narrative. When they talk about the two of them on that show, are they thinking of how the two of them want to get away from WWE, of how WWE treated them, even though the two of them were fired from the WWE? I'm a bit confused. No, Mark, honestly, and even Adam said this in his interview, it's not about a bash WWE kind of deal. Free the Narrative is essentially these characters that were, I'll say it for them, but one dimensional in WWE. I mean, let's be honest. When it came to Braun Strowman in WWE, he was this big dude that just
Flipped
ran
over
through people.
ambulances.
Yeah, and flipped over. I mean, that kind of stuff. Like, that was his lane. We
Mhm.
didn't see much emotion from Braun. We didn't get much. You think about Matt Cardona, who was formerly Zack Ryder. You know, we got the woo 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 stuff, but we didn't get to see everything. They kind of put him in a box. We wanted to see more of a heel and that kind of stuff, and we didn't get to see that. We didn't get to see him. Yes, erase your mind. Choo choo. Exactly. Like, that's what we got. Free the Narrative is about these guys being able to tell their story the way they want to tell it and becoming who they want to become and who they've always thought they could become. So, I mean, Jodie, if you got something else to add to that, since you've kind of seen it, too, I mean, is that kind of
Mhm.
in line with what you see?
Yeah, and less about, like you said, about bashing WWE, but more necessarily about, this is what I could have done if I had free reign.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Like, it's all about even.
This is what I wanted to do.
Exactly. I would say, Mark, too, and I would give people a little bit of homework. Go check out the Control Your Narrative website, the Free Your Narrative website, and some of the stuff on YouTube that EC3 does. It's really an ideal. It's a way of life where it's all about people taking the control back of their lives. In the WWE, and honestly, if you work for massive corporations like that, they control so much of who you are and what you're able to do. I keep going back to that interview, but it was great. But Adam talked about how he missed birthdays, funerals, he missed holidays with some of the closest people to him. He alienated people because of his schedule and that kind of stuff, the injuries, everything else that happened. You become essentially property of that company. And that's what a lot of these folks have been.
You kind of become a machine because that's the only way you know how to function anymore. I mean, obviously I don't put in the kind of hours that these people do, but running a hospital and being part of that kind of bigger umbrella corporation, you don't get to separate yourself from it. You don't get to, my phone was ringing this morning at 5:45 in the morning. I mean, you never really ever truly get a break. And, you know, it you have to put yourself in a place where you almost don't feel anymore. You just do.
Mhm. Exactly. So that's where Free the Narrative and everything about controlling your narrative comes from. Again, I don't think it's anything. I don't think the intention is to bash other companies, because have been other people on there that have been in different places too. I mean, take Pero, for instance. He's never been in WWE. He wasn't recently released, but you know that's he's still got a narrative to control.
EC3's in Ring of Honor now, is that right?
Yeah, he's in Ring of Honor right now. He was in WWE. He was in Impact before he came to WWE at TNA Impact. But dude is just super, super creative
Mm-hmm.
and super talented, and came up with the create your narrative and the Free Your Narrative um, pay-per-views that have been out so far. So EC3 is freaking talented. Like, it's crazy to understand. It's crazy to try and understand how he didn't do more than what he did once he got to the main roster. Like the fact that he was sitting back and catering, and I know he had some injury stuff, but the fact that he never really got the amount of time on TV he deserved still baffles my mind. It just baffles my mind.
There's some interesting characters on Ring of Honor, Andy. Very interesting characters. I mean, go look at Vincent. He's
check it out. I mean, and that's the thing that I would say too. And Joe put out, I thought, a really good point on social media. If you say something is too small, or if you say, well, this isn't good, the first question that we're probably going to ask you is, when's the last time you watched it? And if you say anything beyond 2 years ago, then we're going to need you to we're going to need you to give it another chance again. Like, just try.
Impact. They got a new signing.
We can say it's inspirational, right?
Yeah.
At this point. The Inspiration, formerly known as the Iconics, will be making their Impact debuts. They will be showing up at Bound for Glory October 23rd, which is in Las Vegas.
That's
and
awesome.
I'll go ahead and tell you, obviously we're going to have the watch along on this channel. I'll go ahead and tell everyone that is going to be a huge night in professional wrestling. Huge night in professional wrestling. If you have not watched Impact for years, months, whatever the case may be, now is the perfect opportunity to do so. Come check it out with us on Thursday night. Give it a chance. I don't think you'll be disappointed. I really don't. If you like wrestling, and I swear we don't get paid anything by Impact to say what I'm about to say, but if you like wrestling and you like variety in wrestling, Impact has just about everything that you can ask for. Everything. They have the comedy. Check. They have the great wrestling. Check. Storylines, always evolving, always added layers to them. Oh, and by the way, if you like dark stuff, they do that well too. They do that well too. Just go look up Decay. Look up Sue Young.
Yeah.
Sue Young has her undead bridesmaids again. She's got Kimberly and Brandy Lauren as two of her undead bridesmaids, and I'm telling you, they can dark stuff well, folks. So if you could say that the stars could align, it's a possibility that, however many people they get. And here's the other thing, and then I'll stop talking about Impact because I don't want people to be like, oh, he's just an Impact homer. I am. I take that. I take that as a badge of honor. I don't really care. It's not an insult to me. But honestly, the way that they're currently set up, I know that they don't have a big major network TV deal. And that's a lot of times the knock that a lot of people have. That's the knock that a lot of people have against Impact. Well, they're not on network TV. Okay, they're on Access TV. It's obscure. I get it. And a lot of people don't get Access TV. Point well taken. However, what's a bigger platform? The USA Network or YouTube? YouTube, right?
Plus, how do you get a network deal? You have to sign a big star.
That too.
You have to be marketable.
And I'll say this. Impact's deal is not that they haven't been marketable. Their business practices in the past and some of the people running the company severed a lot of relationships. But they are positioned right now to get a massive audience on YouTube. I mean, now, yes, do you have to pay for it? It's either 99 cents a month or you pay the $4.99. And if you pay $4.99, the $4.99 membership for YouTube for Impact, then uh, here's the thing: you get their network exclusive pay-per-views included in that, and you can go back and see most of their catalog. So, just saying, you know, the world of that's true, Big Dan. I'm not that biased. Um, and welcome to the channel, David Tate Jr., the drummer, saying hello, new to the channel. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. I'll just say, just give it a chance. I mean, give it a chance. If you like it, you like it. And if you don't, you don't. I mean, it's fine. But Jodie, I'm going to ask you this, based off of what you've seen from Impact and their dark stuff. How good do you think they do with Mr. Wyndham Rotunda? And if he wanted to do some more dark stuff, how well do you think they do with that?
Oh, I think they'd be great for the dark stuff. Honestly, I think both companies would be beneficial to him, just for different reasons. I think, being able to keep the character special and not on TV all the time. Obviously, that other company, they do really well with rotating their roster. So you don't see the same people every week. But with Impact, I think they're going to give him that platform to go down that dark road and really explore that kind of dark character.
And honestly, with Impact, I'll just be honest. If he's not wrestling, he will be doing a promo or a vignette. They're going to draw you in. You may not see the big character if he comes out with one. You may not see that, but you're going to see him doing some promo work and vignettes every single week, I think. Let's see here. Big Dan saying AJ Styles blasted their business practices during his feud with Cena, saying he had experiences dealing with idiots in Tennessee. I can tell you on a first-hand basis that their business practices were terrible. Like, left hand not knowing what the right is doing is an understatement. It was bad. It was really bad. So, and when you burn bridges like that, especially when it comes to network TV, it's very hard to come back from that. Very hard to come back from that. Let's see. Brian Coleman saying, "I'm sorry, guys. I've honestly tried to get behind ROH. I've watched some episodes, but I just can't get behind it. But I'm not taking anything away from the men and women in Ring of Honor. They're good. Yeah, I mean, listen, the cool thing is, Brian, and anyone watching wrestling, is that not everything is going to be for all of us. So, I mean, some things we're gonna like, some things we're not, and that's fine. Like, it's honestly great. I mean, we can all have differences of opinion. I'm going to ask this question to you, Jodie. I know this is a Wyndham show, but I'm going to ask this of you because we got a couple of comments. How did you feel about Toni Storm and Liv losing in the Queen's Crown tournament?
Honestly, I didn't get to watch a lot of SmackDown because I was at work, but I did hear through the grapevine that Liv was originally penciled to win, and that got changed at the last minute, which, we kind of know what that feels like with Wyndham. So I think it's unfortunate. It just depends what their end game is. I'm still behind it. It just depends on, like I said, what their end game is. Did they change it because they're gonna have Carmella win, or I don't know. I don't know.
I will say my answer is simple. I don't know. I don't know that they know what they're doing with certain people. So I think for me to say one way or another, like, oh, they're definitely doing, I can't even call it, because for me, it's like Liv Morgan is beyond ready to be a star. Like I just think that that's I just think that that's, you know, I think it's pretty apparent at this point that she's a star.
Yeah.
Toni Storm, she had a lot of momentum coming up from NXT. Sometimes that gets halted. It all depends on what they do. I don't want people to think I'm excusing WWE, because I'm not, because they make some mind-blowing, baffling, bat crap crazy decisions at times. But I will say there is a reset coming after Crown Jewel. People will be in the shows, on the shows that they're supposed to be on. I can't defend the indefensible, but what I can tell you is I wouldn't give up on these stars just yet, because maybe, just maybe, the storylines that they're about to get into may be something special.
Endgame as in who they want to win the tournaments. Erase your mind. Not endgame as in long-term storytelling, because we all know they can't do that anymore. So, but endgame is in who they want to win the king and queen.
Yeah.
I've still got my fingers crossed for one Mr. Xavier Woods to win King of the Ring.
Make it happen.
Make it happen. He definitely wants to make it happen, because he posts about it every single day.
He's been posting about this and talking about this for years. Years.
Which
make it happen.
Kind of makes my knee-jerk reaction think he's not going to get it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, but you also have to think about where this final match is going to be. It's going to be in Saudi Arabia. So just keep that in mind.
Honestly, this is what it's about.
Yeah.
This and these eyeballs. That's what it's about. Yeah. I mean,
so I could definitely see Jinder winning King of the Ring. I could actually see Carmella winning Queen of the Ring.
I could see that, or I could see Shayna.
I don't know. I can and I can't.
Yeah.
Given where they are as a country when it comes to women, that's why I kind of can't see it, but we'll see.
Yeah. Tazzy has the big eyes right now, so he might see something there. We shall see. Yeah, Ricochet and let's see. Yeah, he's going up against Xavier tonight. So yeah. But listen, getting back to Wyndham to end the show. We got right at 6 minutes. And then we have to go back to our respective jobs. I got to be back at my Tazzy saying need to watch main event this week. Okay. Tazzy, you know what? If you did, there's a lot of people that don't know that main event still goes on. Main event is still on, people. They have good matches on there. So yeah, I think Sean Rousset saying I don't have Hulu. That's the only drawback, is that it's on Hulu. I wish it was. They don't upload it to Peacock at all? That's kind of crappy. I watch it on Hulu, so yeah, it does suck that we have to work, but got to do what we got to do.
I actually got some strings pulled, and I don't have to go to work.
Well, darn you.
I called my boss. I was supposed to go in to train a new agency nurse that was starting tonight, and I took PTO for today because we had our final walkthrough for the house before we closed on Friday. And so I took PTO for today, and I was going to go in to be nice because my ADON trained 2 people this morning and has been there since 7:00 this morning. So I said, I'll come in and train the night shift nurse, but I can't get there till 8:30, 9:00. And I called my boss to kind of just check in with her because I do just see how the day was going and all of that. And I told her that I was going to come in and do that. And she goes, no. I was like, why not? And she said, because you're on PTO. Take your PTO time.
There you go.
I said,
okay. So, got to ask this final question to bring it all back full circle. Do you think, and I don't know, let's say, I don't know, maybe 20 days, we get a trailer or a poster?
For Free the Narrative?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think maybe Adam's interview was a teaser. I think AC3's comments on Bray's Twitter was also a teaser. I think this might have been in the works since like July, August.
Could be. Do you think we see that followed by an immediate signing somewhere? Or do you think we see that and then maybe another month and then we see him show up somewhere?
I don't know. It just depends on his contract, I guess. I mean, 90-day no compete is 90-day no compete, and can he film something that doesn't get released until after his 90 days, or does he have to wait 90 days to actually start filming anything? So I don't know. It just depends on those fine-tuned details of that contract. Does 90-day no compete means he can't film anything or do any interviews? I mean, he put his information out there for business inquiry, so obviously he can do something. I don't know. If he can't film anything until after the 90 days, then I think it's going to be a little bit longer. If he can film stuff before the 90 days, but it doesn't come out until after his 90 days, because nobody really knows when he filmed it.
Right.
He could sign somewhere immediately after that.
I think regardless,
I'd really like to see him pop up somewhere on Halloween.
I would too.
Or have Free the Narrative 3 come out on Halloween.
That would be tremendous. So if you're listening, people that make that kind of stuff happen, just know that's what people want. Now, if you give that or not, that's a different story. But still, we want to see something, at least a poster, a teaser, something out there. We want to see it because this would be tremendous to see him show up there and then show up somewhere, wherever he wants to show up. That's fine. We're still gonna rock with him. So, Jodie, any final thoughts before we let everyone go for the evening?
The next time I see him on TV, it's going to be in my new house.
When are you guys moving?
Friday. We close on Friday. We did our walkthrough today and, put a lot of tape on the walls in terms of, hey, you need to fix that. You need to fix that. You need to fix that. And it's a lot of little things. Dings in the wall, places they need to touch up the paint or whatever. There really was nothing major that they need to fix. they needed to fix one of the light fixtures, and that was it. Really, that was the only major thing. So they're gonna fix all of that, get everything finished, everything cleaned. They're gonna pressure wash all the concrete, and make sure, deep clean everything, vacuum, all of that jazz. And then we have to do our final walkthrough right before we close on Friday. So we have our final walkthrough at 9:00 on Friday morning, and then we go close at 11. And that's when we get the keys. And we're planning on trying to start moving some stuff in after that on Friday.
Busy day on Friday.
Busy weekend too. I have friends that I work with that have 2 really large trucks. So, but they're only available to help us move on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So my husband's initial plans of let's move the small stuff first and save the big stuff for last has kind of been flip-flopped. It's, we have the trucks for this weekend, so we're just going to load up as much of the big stuff as we can and go.
There you go. Well, I wish I was there so I could help you guys. I've got a conference to do this weekend, so
you'll be busy too.
Very, very, very. Anyway, thank you all so much for joining us this evening. We greatly appreciate it. If you have not done so yet, please subscribe to the channel. We do this show every Monday, and pretty soon we're going to be moving back to our original time slot of 6 p.m. So just keep posted for that. And yeah, that's it for us this evening. You guys stay safe. Have a good rest of your night. And Jody, we'll do this again next week. What do you say?
I'll be at work. No, I won't be. I'll be at the new house, hopefully.
New house, new setup. So
maybe.
All right, guys, take care. We'll see you next time.